Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to this exciting session on photography tips on maternity and newborn shoot. Today, we have with us a renowned person from the world of photography, Rashmi Chaudhary. She is a freelancer photographer and a founder of the brand Rendezvous with Rashmi and a well-known photographer in Gurgaon. Welcome, Rashmi. Welcome to our session.
Thank you so much.
So today's session, we have designed specially for parents who are expecting and for parents with newborn babies. Today from Rashmi, we all shall learn how to capture special lifetime moments and to make these moments a memorable one. So Rashmi, before we really begin the topic, we would like to know about your journey as a photographer. How did you start this journey?
Um, well, I am basically educated as a software engineer. I studied that. And then I worked with one of India's leading software firms, Tata Consultancy Services, for close to about a decade before hanging my corporate boots. Then I was an entrepreneur for about a couple of years. And eventually I realized that photography was my calling. And then so it was something which was in my DNA. I love to capture pictures and, freeze moments. And however, I did not have the technical know-how at that point in time. So I learned it professionally. I practiced it for quite a while. And then I launched my brand, Rendezvous with Rashmi, about 3.5 years back. So that's how it has been.
So wonderful, Rashmi, but uh, I'm really curious to know, is photography your passion?
Yes, it is a big time passion. And when I'm working on any of my photo shoots, shoot, or it is shooting by itself, or editing, or whatever it is, any aspect of it, I don't really realize how time flies by. So more than anything, yes, it is a huge passion for me. There are people who are very good orators, who are very good poets, who are very good writers. For them, their tool of expression is their words. For me, my tool of expression is pictures.
Wonderful. So, parents, we understand that you have been missing out on the lifetime, very precious photo shoots during the maternity phase and during the newborn phase in the hospitals, which are usually planned well ahead. But to give the best, how you can do it all by yourself, we have Rashmi, and she will help us with the special tips and hacks how you can make the best of these moments. So Rashmi, to begin with, you have to tell us, how do moms or dads start planning for these shoots? How can they do it yourself? What kind of planning should they begin with?
Okay. So first of all, I would say that I would like to reiterate the fact that right now, for obvious reasons, you can't really schedule a professional. Many of you would not want to schedule a professional photo shoot. However, these are moments which happen probably just once or twice in your lifetime. And these are milestones that need to be captured. So, the very fact that you can't hire a professional photographer should actually not hold you back from capturing these moments. And if you ask me how to go about it, I would say that it involves a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, understanding of basic concepts of photography or poses and props, etc. Uh, yes, it is time consuming. It involves planning and preparation. So first and foremost, you need to find out what are the kinds of poses that you really would like to capture. Everyone has their aspirations. Even when I do my professional shoots, maternity shoots, or family shoots, I ask the couple, what is it which is there in their mind? They would have, of course, before deciding on going for a professional shoot, they would have seen some pictures of some other people, and they would have those kind of aspirations that they would want themselves to be in those kind of frames. So first and foremost, that is the step one. You do create a mood board sort of, where you know that what are the kind of pictures that you would like yourself to be in. Second, you need to identify spots in case if we are talking about indoors or wherever, if you have a garden, whatever it is, you need to identify the spots where you can take these pictures. You need to plan your dresses. It's very important. So you have to have your clothes ready. You can create your own props. You can order them online, you can plan for them, you can borrow them from other friends who have used it before. You should keep your devices ready. Okay, so be it smartphone or point and shoot camera or a DSLR with a tripod, with a remote trigger, something like that. So you should have that ready in case if you are living in a joint family setup and you have someone at home, say a sister-in-law, brother-in-law, or an older sibling. Take advantage of that. Equip them, empower them to take pictures, and that you will enjoy. And of course, in the session, I will take you through, our audience through a plethora of details for poses, dresses, locations, the right kind of props, backdrops, everything. But right at the onset, I would also like you to know that photography is all about observation and patience. You need loads of it. So when you can also do a couple of test shoots before getting into the actual one, and do not treat it as a chore that you have to do it and you want to get done with it. Enjoy the entire process. You are clicking because you want to enjoy those memories, and also the process of clicking them.
Yes, moms and dads, now you know how much to learn from Rashmi. But to take this forward, do it all by yourself. Start thinking as a photographer now and start your planning, putting it down on the paper and do a detailed planning the same way the photographers do, the same way the does. She goes into every minute details of it, right? So once your planning is done, so the next step is, what is the best time to shoot a maternity shoot?
Well, the best time is typically after 30 weeks. So practically it is about 7 to 8 months. We don't want it very early because by then the belly is not really that well formed. So we want the belly to be well rounded so that you can flaunt them in the pictures. We don't want it very late also, like in your 9th month or something, because there are chances of you getting into labor, water breaking, or the expecting mom. More so for the expecting mom, the amount of discomfort increases by the time you are in your 9th month. So it is always better to do it before and enjoy all of it. So that, of course, is 7 to 8 months is a good time. Then, of course, for the birthing session, you can do it in the hospital. When we come and discuss more about the birthing shoots, I'll also explain you what are the different ways that one can do. And then the newborn shoots are typically done around the first 2 weeks when the baby is sleeping. We all would have seen a lot of baby pictures on Pinterest, Instagram, all social media handles when they look really cute in their swaddled, wrapped up, and all that, and sleeping. So
Yeah.
why we do it in the first 2 weeks? Because it gives us an advantage. You can maneuver the baby the way you want to. They sleep for about 16, 18 hours, 19 hours a day, and that is very convenient for the baby photographer. However, considering the fact that right now people don't have those many helps at home, and maybe your family would also not be there, you can do it at your own pace. You're not booking a professional photographer, so you're not time bound. Even if you keep on clicking, say, a couple of pictures on alternate days, or whenever you are in a mood and the baby is in a mood, you will end up in a good selection of pictures later.
That's very true. The newborn baby pictures are best clicked in the first 2 3 days when the baby sleeps.
Yeah,
Sleep.
that carries on for good 2 weeks, the first
Yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Right. So, what are things one should keep it ready, and especially while going to the hospital for, and if we want to click few pictures in the hospital, what should they carry along with the hospital bag, along with the maternity bag?
Okay. So if you are going to the hospital and you are, you want certain pictures to be done there, there are certain things probably, guys, you can just make a list out of it. I have jotted them down so that I don't kind of forget them. First of all, I would say that you shouldn't really stress yourself that much. Uh, if you are going to the hospital, you are about to pop, I think you should always keep a bag ready, a basic makeup kit for the mom. So a compact, a kohl, eyeliner, and a light lip color. We are not looking at very heavy makeup, jarring makeups, but a decent bit that adds to that freshness. In fact, a generous amount of aloe vera gel, the usual aloe vera gel that we get, you can pack a tube of that. When you put it on your face, it gives you a very good sheen and a great glow. So that helps. Carry comfortable pair of clothes that you would like to be photographed in while leaving for the hospital, while you're there, and while you are getting discharged from there, getting home. So
Yeah.
these are some milestones. Do not forget to click pictures when you are leaving the hospital with the baby. Okay, we have seen all the celebrity shots of Kareena Kapoor and of all these people who've just delivered and walking out with their baby. So yeah, so that is one moment that you need to capture. When you enter your home, you need to capture that. For the baby, carry some neutral shades of wrappers. In India, fortunately or unfortunately, we do not know the gender of the baby before they're born, usually. So you can carry some neutral shades of wrappers. For example, light lemon, light lime. Do not get into blues and pinks that much because that becomes very gender specific. Or you can have both of them, either of the two, whatever works out for you later, which is why I'm sitting with a blue and pink. Yeah. Yes. So then you can have some baby blankets, booties, bibs, a couple of rattles, some stuffed toys. Okay, all of these washed and sanitized properly. You can carry your mobile or the camera charger, whatever device you're going to be using for taking this pictures. Be it your DSLR, be it your mobile, be it your point and shoot camera. Of course, that device needs to be there. Apart from that, take accessories. For example, the tripod, the remote trigger, uh, you can carry your charger so that it doesn't happen that the device conks off. And then if you have any easy to carry props, by that I mean that if you have a bed cover or a bed sheet kind of a thing which is subtle, which is a little velvetish, and you can use that as a backdrop or a prop for the baby, you can carry that. So these are the basic things, and any props that you would want to carry for baby announcement.
Right.
Yeah. Typically, what I do as a photographer when I am doing maternity shoots, I shoot two types of pictures. It's a boy and it's a girl. Okay. So I shoot both of the virgins. The couple is ready with both the virgins. The moment the delivery happens, they can pick one of them and use that as their cover picture or their announcement picture or whatever. So this probably you can do beforehand also.
Wonderful, Rashmi. This is amazing. You have listed out all the items so well. So, parents, if you have missed on it, please watch this video again and take note of all the items so you'll have your list ready.
Yeah.
So, moving ahead, Rashmi, tell us, how do moms or dads start capturing moments at home?
Okay. So when we talk about home, one can either consider indoors, which is like inside the house,
Yes.
or if you have a balcony, if you have a terrace, then that can work. In case if you are living in an independent house and you have a garden, that works as well. Otherwise, most of the condominiums are equipped with nice, good gardens. So all of these can work. Alternatively, if those who are watching you are staying close to a beach, that works. If you have the appetite to venture out to a park, which is a little deserted, for example, in Gurgaon, we have some of these parks. I haven't been to these places of late, so I'm not sure how deserted they are or crowded, but maybe the one which we have in sector 56, Okay, so those kind of places, if you find that it is not really crowded, that can work as well. However, for our discussion today, I would mostly consider indoor locations which are within the house.
Yeah,
Okay.
within the house, what best we can
Within
do.
the house, yes. So as I said, you can all note it down. Now I'm going step by step. So the step one is create a mood board. What kind of shots you would like to take. Step two is identify the spots in your houses that receive a good amount of light and have a clean, uncluttered backdrop that can yield you the kind of pics that you desire. So I'll get into details of lighting and backdrops as well later as we go on through the session. Step number three, as I said, plan your clothes. What kind of clothes to choose, that also we will drill down in detail. Okay, this is a more high level kind of a step-by-step plan for couples. Then, as I said, you can buy, borrow, create, order them online, all the props that you want to use. Now, what I would want to say is do not obsess with props. If you have props, well and good. Some of the props are doable. They look nice. In case, and all the pictures don't need to be with a prop. I'm a kind of photographer who goes very, very minimal with the props. I usually ask the preference of my clients. If they want it, I use them. If they want just a wee bit of it, I go according to that. Then, as I said, keep your device ready, whether it is smartphone, point and shoot camera, DSLR. Learn how to operate it at its best, even your smartphone. Invest in a tripod and a remote trigger. You get it on Amazon, loads of them. Okay, so tripod for even for smartphones, I would say that it is important to invest in a tripod. It isn't very expensive, comes at around 1,500 to 2,000. You get a good enough tripod. Some of them also have a ring light on them, so that works, gives a very good glow. Okay, then if you have a family member who can click this for you, nothing better than that. You can do that as well. Take some shots. Okay, now this is important. Before getting into the final day of shoot, do not hurry it up. Okay, so on those particular poses, once you've decided on the poses, once you've decided on the locations, without getting into those proper nitty-gritties of clothing and makeup and hair and everything, just do some trial shots. So take some shots, see what could be improved in them, reshoot, refine your shooting skills. If possible, you can read about them. Photography is all about practice. And be prepared to shoot tons of pictures to get that one perfect shot. If on the first day you do not get the kind of results that you want, please do not be disappointed. Because we spend years practicing and perfecting the art. So the key is patience. And then the last but not the least, if possible, learn some basic editing techniques on your phone or apps. So even the inbuilt phone app, you know, suppose you have a Samsung phone or an iPhone, or you have a Redmi, or whatever phone you have, there are inbuilt apps wherein you can either use some filters, or you can crop, you can add some sharpness, you can tweak with the color contrast, shadows, definition, lots of it. That's very much doable. Play with your phone. It will not take you too much of time, but it will help you enhance your pictures later. So that's about it.
Wonderful, Rashmi. This has been a great list, a very long list. But along with the tripod, do we really need to buy the light? I think it's a good idea to invest in the light as well.
It is a good idea to invest, but you should also know how to use the light.
Yes.
So it again depends upon the couple. If they are interested into exploring the nuances of photography, very good, nothing like that. Okay, but if you're not, I don't want to just scare people with too many things on the list. So even if it is not, one of the best things to do is natural light photography. That really works very, very well. Any which ways, with newborns also, do not use too many lights. The best is to make use of the natural light which is available. And this can be done because when you're using external flashes, all of that, then of course there are techniques that need to be learned. Otherwise it will just trigger off, the picture will be overexposed, or it will be not effective enough. So that needs to be learned. Alternatively, I can say that make use of the natural light. Learn how to make use of that.
Right, wonderful. And what about DSLR? Do you think that one should buy it, or a smartphone is good enough to capture all these moments? You know, we need to capture maternity moments, newborn baby, and again post once we come back home. So
Right.
smartphones are good enough.
So I would say again the same thing. If you have the appetite to learn photography, and you can invest in a DSLR, and not only invest, you can also learn to use it.
Yeah.
Nothing like it. Okay, that's the best that you can do for yourself and for your family. And I would also say that why should we always put all the onus to the expecting dads, the expecting moms? Also, if you have time, if you have the inclination, learn it. And then certain things, when your husband is taking picture of you, you can always guide them. For newborns, you can of course take. So do not just put all the responsibility only on the husbands to learn. It is equally beneficial for the expecting moms to learn as well. With DSLRs, of course, you need to learn how to use it effectively. However, in case if you don't have a DSLR, you don't want to invest in it, you don't have the time to learn all of it, then smartphones also do a pretty good job. The difference comes when you are wanting to blow up a picture, print a bigger size of the picture. Yes, a smartphone will probably not be able to do that good a job when it comes to printing because of the resolution issues as compared to a DSLR. The other thing being, for smartphones, the low light performance is not that great. However, most of the maternity and newborn can be done very well under your natural light. It is the birthing session that happens in hospital, that there you might not have much control over the lighting which is there in the hospitals and the OT and all of that. So yes, the preferred one is DSLR, but if you can't have it, if you don't want to invest, you don't want to get into it, then smartphones are good enough. There are some tips which I have also jotted them down, and I will take everyone through. First of all, it is important to learn compositions. Not very complicated compositions I'm talking about, just some general ones, so that you don't chop off the head and you don't chop off half the body. Okay, there are times when you actually chop off the head and you take only the belly. That also is nice. But then it totally depends upon what is it that you are trying to do, okay, trying to capture. So you need to compose your shots well, and do it accordingly. First point, probably you can write it down, or you can also write some of them and uh, uh, go through the session again and make a list. First thing is, try using a portrait mode in your phones. It imitates what is called in photography shallow depth of field, which means that the subject is sharp and the backdrop is blurred out. Okay, so those are the kind of pictures that we all like to take without realizing what is it in that picture that we are liking. And it is that portrait mode which really works out very well. So that is one. Second, enable the grid lines on your phones that help you to compose the picture well. Now, what are those grid lines? In your phone setting, you have a setting for camera where you can activate 2 vertical and 2 horizontal lines. So basically, your entire phone, the frame of the phone is divided into 9 quadrants. Those are called grid lines. It helps you to straighten the subject and keep them straight. While you're shooting, be careful not to keep shaking your hand. If you do that, then the picture is going to turn out blurry. Do not zoom in. Like you're standing here and you want to take a close-up shot. Do not zoom in, because that kind of pulls down the quality of the image. Rather, physically move forward to and closer to the subject. Okay, then ensure that all the reference lines in the backdrop are straight and they're not slanting like teda mera. Now, what are reference lines? If I look at Dr. Rekha's picture, there are lines, there is a cupboard behind, there are walls, there is one wall, that's an intersection of two walls which are coming. So just see that that line should be straight when you are taking a picture. Anything that is very, very conspicuous in that picture, whether it is the intersection of two walls or curtains or probably a bed or anything, those lines should be straight, because otherwise it catches the attention and it kind of distorts. Last is just take care of light. When there is ample light, smartphones work very well. Under low light, it is a little difficult. You can get into the nitty-gritties of how to shoot up the ISO to make it perform in low light. All of that you can learn. But these are some some easy to do tricks. And for focus, when you have to click sharp images, tap on the phone wherever you want the phone to focus. You just touch on the phone and that takes the focus. So those are some tricks to make use of your smartphone when you don't have a DSLR.
Wonderful. This is nice. And I really captured one point here about do not put all the focus, all the responsibility on the dads.
Yes.
Moms equally learn about photography and capturing moments
And you
using.
can directly shoot yourself. Of
Yes.
course, while your picture is being taken, you can ask the dad to take it, or you can do it yourself with a remote trigger also,
Yeah. So, and moms, you can also create some paternity pictures. It's nice to have
which is very
paternity pictures
important.
also. Yes. So, create some paternity moments also. So now going ahead, Rashmi, how to ensure that the lighting is good? That's a
Okay.
very, very critical part of photo shoots.
That is the most critical part of photography, I would say.
Yes.
Like painters paint with, they create their creations with paint. We photographers do whatever we need to do with light. There is
Yeah.
no light, there is no picture.
Right.
Okay.
Very.
So we need to choose a spot for the photo shoot that is close to a large window. Okay. So if you see on my left, there is a blind right now, that window is closed, but that's a big enough window. Ideally, the kind of setup that we need is there is a good amount of light which is coming from the window, which is not like really head on straight, but light which is coming from a side window. So if that was my window, then I would use the wall behind me, which you see behind my back. I would probably use that kind of a wall so that the subject is side lit. Also, if there is too much light coming from the window, then you can always use a white sheet or a dupatta, that kind of a thing, to diffuse the light. And diffusing light means softening the light so that it's not very harsh. When you are shooting in your balcony or outdoor or terrace, uh, the best time to shoot that is either just after sunrise till the time it doesn't get too hot and the light doesn't get very harsh. Because if the light is harsh, what happens is it will leave very harsh shadows on your face,
Yeah.
and it will also burn out your skins. Those areas would be there would be highlights and those would be overexposed, so we don't want that. Plus, the expecting mother would not be comfortable in so much of heat. So either in the morning, or you can do it in the golden hour, which is typically about an hour before sunset. So that's soft as well. If there is an overcast day like we have today, it was raining in the morning, so if you have that kind of a day, cloudy kind of a day, then any time works. So what you need to see is there is no harsh light coming in if you're shooting in your balcony, terrace, or garden, which is indoors. If you're shooting indoors, then yes, you need to have good amount of light. If for some reason you are shooting on your staircase or a corridor or a passage, which is not too close to natural light, then switch on all lights, as many lights as possible, so that at least increases the ambient light to an extent. Okay. And if possible, we have inbuilt flashes in our smartphones And we also have inbuilt flashes in our DSLRs. If you are comfortable with little bit of technicalities of smartphone and DSLR, please switch the flash, inbuilt flash off. Disable that, because that gives a very washed out kind of image versus any other image where we are not using that inbuilt flash. And all these rules of lighting apply to baby shoot. Just that for babies, we do mostly all the shoots are indoors. We don't take the baby, drag them out into the terrace or garden. We do that indoors. So everything applies similarly for baby shoot as well.
Right. Wonderful, Rashmi. Thank you so much. It's going really well. And moms and dads, please start sharing your questions for Rashmi. Please, we will not spare Rashmi today. So we have to take the best from her.
Yeah.
And Rashmi, let us know about the clothes, the maternity clothes, what kind of dress we should select from our cupboard, and that can be made use of.
Cool. So for clothing, with respect to maternity clothing or for babies and everyone, I have a whole list of images that I have created, which can make understanding much easier. So now on, I'm going to share a lot of images. However, I would avoid actual shoot pictures of mine, because those have been shot with clients and those are personal, intimate moments. So I don't want to really, I wouldn't be too comfortable sharing those pictures on FB Live. Therefore, I have downloaded a lot of stock images for every point, and I will share my screen. I will take everyone through those stock images. That would make it much simpler and easier to understand. So I'm just doing a screen share.
So we would have loved to seen those maternity pictures clicked by Rashmi, but for moms and dads, you can go to her page, Rendezvous with Rashmi, and have a look at those pictures if they are there. Here we will manage with you.
I can put them on my page as well.
Yes.
So we begin with the first point. I mean, for dresses, there are loads of options for you guys. We begin with dresses. Okay, so these are the kind of flowy dresses. It could be off shoulder, it could be something like this, whatever you are comfortable with. First point I would want to say is, please be comfortable in your skin. Whatever makes you feel nice and whatever is your style. There are no rules for any kind of photography that for a maternity shoot you have to wear a particular style of clothes. It totally depends upon your preferences. So whatever you're comfortable with. The first one and the most common that you would have seen is something like this. So Dr. Rekha, are you able to see my screen?
I can see the screen.
Great. These flowy ones are the ones which are a little snug around the tummy. And if it is not, then what you do is, it is a hack. You can just note it down. You can just use a clip, and you can clip the dress from behind so that the tummy becomes a little snug. So for example, if you see this is snug, this isn't that much. So then when you are posing, you also pose in a way that it accentuates the tummy.
Right. Hello, Rashmi. Are
this
you
is
there?
A fitted dress. Yeah, I'm there. I am there. I think my internet connection went a little unstable. Can you hear me again?
We can hear you. Yes.
Should I resume, Dr. Rekha?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Cool. So this is the second kind of dress which is absolutely fitted. It can be a knee length or it can be a short dress, not necessarily a flowy one, but this works as well. The third is normal, casual, your jeans and your t-shirt. Okay, so this works. You can also color coordinate with the entire family. For example, this one, if you see. So here It could be couple, it could be your older kids also in the picture, which is kind of color coordinated. Simple blue jeans, denims, and any kind of tee, say a white tee, that works. Oversized t-shirt or a shirt, just wear it as a dress. As I said, it totally depends upon your comfort level, what you are comfortable wearing. Something like jeans with a shrug. Okay.
Yes.
So this is with a shrug. That works. Similarly, a drawstring pajama with a casual top, that kind of stuff also works. If the dress or the top is not snug enough on your belly, you can tie a belt. Like you see, this is a belt just below the midriff. So you tie that belt so that the belly accentuates even more. And you can also have some kind of funky message tees. You have time, you can order them. This one says, oops, I did it again. It could be something like, I'm about to pop, something like that. So that's a little funky. And I have seen a lot of maternity shoots which are very well done in saris as well. Just
Wow.
that the kind of sari that you use or the kind of moods that you have, there are some very good shoots which are done in traditional saris, as traditional as patnis. Okay. Then of course these are Yash Chopra kind of Georgette saris which work very well. It totally depends upon what is the weather that you're shooting, what is the mood that you want to create, and what is your personality. Some pointers are, you should be comfortable, as I said, with the selected outfit. Slightest of discomfort in terms of fitting or style will actually show up on your face. So that should not happen. And avoid any jarring colors. For sarees and all, that kind of works, but anything which is too bright and it kind of takes over, no. Any polka dots, stripes, very bold prints, too many logos, avoid them. Florals, soft florals, pastels would work. We usually prefer muted colors, but at times reds, yellows, blacks also, they also work at times. So these are some of the dresses.
Wonderful. That's very nice. And mom, whatever you have in your cupboard, make the best out of it. Everything works. It's
Yes.
just
It is
few.
your confidence and your emotion and your glow, your happiness, which is going to be, captured on screen. So feel good about it.
Yeah. So just we want to capture the expression and your happiness.
Yeah.
Clothes you can do with anything that you have in your cupboard.
Yes.
Saris, I love the pictures in saris.
Yes.
So, Rashmi, we have a question that a mom asked. I want to capture month by month pregnancy photos.
Right.
What should I wear for each phase?
Okay. So typically for a month by month pregnancy picture, what you would have seen and what I also suggest is keep your clothes constant. Okay. So
Right.
that your entire, when you create a collage of those 8 or 9 pictures, the entire focus basically goes towards your tummy, okay, your belly, how it is increasing. So, and if possible, keep the pose also constant, keep the location also constant. So now in all those pictures, nothing else is changing except for your belly. And keep it muted. Something which is as casual as jeans and a top will also work, but something which is snug so that it shows how the belly is progressing.
Yeah, wonderful. That's right. This also gives me an idea that I should start thinking on creating, capturing moments in my clinic. That
Yes,
would be
that's a
nice.
great
Month on
idea.
month, we can
Yeah,
create.
because any which ways they come for their checkups, and those are milestones.
Plus, yeah. So I'll take your help later.
Yeah, anytime.
I have another question from Priyanka. It says, I don't have a DSLR. How can I manage photo shoot at home? Priyanka, we have already covered this and Rashmi has covered it so well. Please re-watch the session once more and you will have answer to your question. And going ahead, Rashmi, what kind of clothes should one keep ready for newborn babies?
Newborn babies are best captured in their birthing suit, which is like no clothes. Okay. So one is that, of course. Then you can put a diaper just in their diapers. Then you can put onesies, or you can wrap them. You would have seen that the most common ones are the ones where the baby is wrapped very well. So those kind of clothes, I would say clothes or wrapping, works very well. So either it is nothing, either it is only diapers, or their usual clothes, the one piece clothes, the onesies that they wear, or the ones which cover their entire feet, that also works. So anything works basically, but something which is not too busy, something which is soft and pastel is what we usually prefer.
Right, very nice. So you can try with anything that you have.
Yes,
Pictures.
I
There's
have loads of things. So when we come to props, I can also show, or should I do that right away, as you suggest,
uh,
Dr. Rekha?
you can go ahead because the next question is any more poses you would like to share. So we are
Right.
coming to the next
Okay.
poses for the
So
baby and the mother.
for newborn baby, I have, if you can all see, I'm not sure if you can see this, but yeah, I think you can. So what is this? This is basically a scarf that I have, a long stole rather that I have. And this is a very, very soft fabric. As you can see, this is a very soft fabric, okay? And this is light lemon in color. Something like this, which is so soft, you can wrap the baby around. You don't have to buy anything, so you can just wrap the baby around in this one. You can use something like I always prefer pastels.
You can pin yourself on the screen so that you
Okay,
have a bigger
I'll
screen.
do that. So the first one that I showed was this. Now this is a stole which I have, and this is very, very soft, good enough to wrap your baby. So this is one. The second one is pashmina stoles if you have, or semi pashmina or whatever. The idea is they should be, pashmina comes in very soft shades and soft fabrics. So this is a pashmina stole. This is a very, very soft fabric. You can wrap your baby around that. uh, then if you want for a change, if you want particular colors, you can have something like this. This is a little too bright. For a change, if you want a bright color, then maybe you can go with this one. uh, this is another kind of so this is another kind of stole which I have. Very soft fabric, very, very soft fabric this is. You can wrap in this one. You can create, so once we talk about backdrops, I'll talk more about it. You can also have underneath, just for the backdrop, or if you are putting your baby in a basket, underneath what you can do and taking a top shot, you can use something like this. Now what this actually is, this is my pillow cover, which is a nice, good, beautiful shade of bluish gray. Okay, this is pretty big. I have a bed cover also. So depending upon how much space you want to capture, and this is quilted on one side, the other side is so plain, it is velvetish, it gives a nice feel. Once we are talking about the poses and props, I will also show you a basket, or let me show it to you right now.
So
So
we
this
have
is
a
a basket.
question. We have a question from Lily. She's asking for more baby picture ideas.
Yes,
So
I will be sharing the baby picture ideas and poses as well as we go on. So this is a kind of basket that you can take. You can take bigger baskets. You can cushion them. I have pictures for each one of them as we go on. So right now, I think, Dr. Rekha, we can go on and to the next one so that I can show the poses
yeah,
for newborn, for maternity, and for newborn as well.
right.
So should I take you guys through the maternity shoot poses?
First, let us do the baby pictures because
Okay.
Lily, we are talking about the props and the cushion
Okay.
and the basket. Let us
Okay.
look.
So let me share my screen once again and take you through baby pictures first. Okay. So I am just sharing all the baby pictures that we have, because now since we are on that topic. Okay. Talking about poses. So these are some, you can all see my screen, guys. Dr. Rekha, you can see my screen?
I can see the screen. Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are some of the poses. Now, it could be like this, as you see. You will always have to put a pillow or a cushion or something under them. You can have this kind of a pose when the baby is sleeping. So what happens? Why do we say that initial 2 weeks are very, very important to take good pictures? That is because the baby is sleeping 2-3 weeks, again, depending upon how settled the baby is. So you can just change their orientation while they sleep. You can just put slightly, go there very gently, take their hand, take it back. So this is when the hand is on a side, this is another side, this is when the baby is wrapped up well in a swaddle, this is when the baby is sleeping with the head resting on the hand, this is sideways. This is something which you don't usually see in babies, but some of them, my younger one used to sleep like this, and he also used to put one of his legs on the side rolled pillow. So that was very cute. And okay, now as you can see, these are some of the poses. I'll just wait here. So these are lying on the tummy, lying sideways. You can shoot from a top angle when they are sleeping. You can shoot at a 45 degrees angle. So this is a 45 degrees angle where you get the baby and everything behind. Now here, this is what I meant by depth of field. When you see this picture, the baby is in focus, and by the time the view goes over here, it's all very blurred out. So this is called shallow depth of field, which you get in portrait mode of your phones. For your DSLRs, of course, there are ways. Technically, you open the aperture as wide as possible. Okay, those are technicalities. Now, this is another pose. So here, if you see, there are no out of box clothing. These are the normal clothing that you have for the baby. This is a hand woven woolen kind of a blanket. It makes for a very good prop as well. Here the baby is not actually wearing anything. So do make it a point to shoot the baby when the stub is still there for the cord. Now this picture is the baby is lying normally in his or her cot. This has been taken from a top angle. The baby is wide awake. You can dress up your baby the way you want. If it's a girl, of course, you have much more options. You can tie a bow, you can put a tiara, you can create a crown with a paper. Just YouTube, Google how to create a crown. So basically, you take a paper, you kind of cut it from the edges and create a crown. It's a paper, it's not going to hurt the baby. Okay, so all of those things you can do. You can also, here you can see there is something written as 2 months. So you can also do a 12-month kind of a chronicle for your baby, where again, you're not changing the poses that much, and you are adding something. For here you have this label which says 2 months. Similarly, there would be another one that says 3 months, then 4 months, and so on and so forth. Then something which is very, very doable is like this. This is again not, you don't need a professional to shoot this. You can shoot this on your own whenever the baby is sleeping. In fact, the mother could also be sleeping with the baby. This is a candid shot. It works very well. Emotion wise, it is very, very high. This is dad sleeping. Why just moms? Dad sleeping with the baby.
Why just moms?
Yes. We shouldn't be biased. So dad sleeping with the baby, and you can just click that. Then there are close-up shots. Okay. Then this is another one of the entire family. One can take either on a self timer, or you can also take. You can ask someone to take that picture. Then let me just go and see. Okay, so you have these close-up shots. So these close-up shots work very, very well. Here, if you see, there's just a flower that has been put with into the baby's feet, but it looks so nice. These are all, this is the baby's mouth wide open. Now, for these kind of images, it is actually difficult for a professional photographer to shoot, especially something like this. So we really have to wait. But since you are at home, you can take care of all these things as much as you want. And you can keep clicking whenever you feel is the right moment. So that can happen. This is
Lovely.
have an older child, you can always take some shots with the older child. Of course, it is also very, very important to include, I think my internet connection has again gone a little unstable. In case if you can't hear me, please let me know.
We can hear
But I
you.
was saying, yeah, I'm audible. Great.
Yeah.
So what I was saying was, if you have an older child, please involve your child in the entire process. Keep them pepped up that, come, mama is going to shoot this, and mama, dad, papa are going to do this. You also come in the picture. Take some solo pictures of your older one, saying that, with any of the placards. I'll show you some of the placards. Boy or a girl, it could say coming soon. It could say, I'm going to be a big brother or a big sister, something like that, so that your older one also feels important and very much a part of the process. So this is a picture with your older child. This is another picture with your older child. So these are very nice, candid moments. Now, when I speak about the reference lines being straight, this is what I mean. If you see, there might be a wardrobe or something with the black color jetting out, but this line is going straight. So this works. Then, if you are a pet parent, you have pets at home, you're comfortable with them. I'm sure all the pet parents are comfortable and they don't think that, the pet is going to harm their baby in any way. So you can go ahead, take some shots with your pet. Okay, basically both of them are your babies, so you can do that. In case if you give them pacifier, you can take some pictures with the pacifier. Okay, now this was the basket that I was telling about. You can just get some cane baskets, okay, which are not that hard. This is how you cushion it. You can put anything to cushion it so that it doesn't hurt the baby. You can wrap the baby well and put them into the basket. The ways to shoot this is either a top angle, which you see here, or a 45 degrees angle where you are shooting from here, like almost like exactly eye level, but yes, between eye level and the top view. Then, of course, if you give them a pacifier, you can click them with a pacifier, a little headband here and there works. With their stuffed toys, that works. Okay, this is another idea which doesn't take much. You all have books. You can give them glasses which don't hurt. Of course, that's a little soft and that doesn't hurt. The baby sleeping, you can put these glasses. These are all the things that you can do at home. So that's about it. Baby poses.
Right, wonderful, Rashmi. This was very cute, and but what I look at it is while clicking the pictures, what I noticed that the background is so very important.
Yes, it
So
is.
we would just show us the maternity pose pictures.
Yes.
Tell us a little more about the background because that plays
I'm
a
going to cover both. I will take you all through the maternity poses first because I think we haven't done it so far. We directly jump to newborn poses. So we can do the maternity poses, and then I can also give certain tricks and tips for the backdrop.
But
Okay.
Rashmi, will the backdrop be different for the newborn babies and the backdrop for the mom will be different?
Can be, yes. So if we see a backdrop for newborn babies, if you see any of the pictures, okay, you observe them, either okay. So when you take a picture from the top, the backdrop, the wall, etc., doesn't matter. What matters is just a little bit. So if the baby is in a basket, then yes, the basket, the picture that I showed of the basket, and outside of that basket, there are some things. So you can either use a very soft, textured kind of fabric, or you can also use a sheet. When I come to sheet, I'll explain how to use that kind of a sheet, paper sheet. Okay, those kind of things. When we are doing, because the baby is small, or you put the baby in the cradle, or you put the baby on the bed. Okay, these are some of the only options that we have of putting the baby. Shots are either from the top or at a 45-degree angle. For 45-degree angle, either you create a sweep. I will come to what is a sweep. Okay, I will explain that. Or so that totally works. For maternity, because of course we are huge, we are much bigger than the baby, we need a much bigger backdrop. And for maternity, you can also experiment a lot with the backdrops, a lot more as compared to baby shoots.
So baby shoot, what I have noticed is we should have a very plain background. Keep it very white or very pastel shade, but it should be
Yes, that
very,
works the best.
very dull and
Sometimes, again, I would say, to break the monotony, if you want a variation of pictures, I will also show you some other backdrops which are doable, which are not really pastel, but it also works.
okay, great. Wonderful. So, moms, if you have any questions regarding baby shoot, please share with us and we'll cover. Meanwhile, let us go to maternity poses.
Poses. Great. So there are some very common, I would say, cliched maternity poses, but that is what it works. Okay. You can't have a maternity shoot only with a headshot. You need to show the belly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll just take all of you through the maternity
For the
poses.
belly, so we need to focus on that.
Yes.
And it's a
So
moment of expression. So,
absolutely, absolutely. So a lot lies in the art. So cool. Now, again, this is a wide range of expression, not really expressions, but maybe, poses. So here, if you see in all of these pictures, the expecting mother is standing sideways. And this also would give you an idea about, someone asked about how to chronicle the 9 months of the growing belly. So this
yeah,
is similar to that if you see.
this
The
answers
clothes that they're wearing, this answers that, right?
yeah.
So the clothes that the outfit that she's wearing is exactly the same in all the pictures. Backdrop is the same. The pose is almost the same, except for in some of them she's looking down, some of them she's looking straight into the camera, and all of that. Most of the pictures have her hair open except for one. So this is the idea, that you do not vary too many things, so that what I really see is the belly growing from this to this.
Yeah.
Okay, rest, most of the things are kind of constant. Okay, either sideways, here she is standing sideways and hands on belly, okay, or standing straight into the camera and looking into the camera. Okay, so you can be looking into the camera, you could be looking straight, you could be looking down into the belly, towards the belly. You could also be looking out, maybe towards a window. I call very dreamy shots. When I'm shooting people, am I? Whenever I get this message that my internet connection is unstable.
Go ahead, Rashmi. We are good.
So whenever I'm shooting couple, I tell them, imagine your life you will have after having the baby in your arms. So that's a very dreamy pose which brings a smile on their faces. Okay, so that is not a grim expression, but something which makes you happy and a little bit of smile and thinking about what lies ahead. So that's about it. These are some maternity couple poses, okay, where you could be standing like this. Now, again, whatever comes to you naturally, you don't have to force a pose, okay? Many a times when I'm doing couple shoots, it so happens that the father to be says, oh, I am very camera shy, don't click me, take as many pictures of my wife as you want. But then I tell them, see, it's a journey that both of you have taken together, and parenthood means both of you. It can't be that I'm clicking. Okay, majority of shots could be of your wife, but then you need to come in the frame. So the husband needs to be made comfortable by the photographer. Here you have an advantage. If you're doing it yourself, there's no third element or a stranger who you would feel conscious in front of, So this totally works. If you see this one, so this is a side hug. This is one person is looking back, the other person is looking in front towards the camera. Please do not reverse it, because we want to see the belly and the mother. We don't want to see the backside of the mother, so don't reverse it. So this works. Then something like this. So even if the husband is not seen in this picture, okay, and this has not been cropped by mistake, it has happened, you see the expression on the wife's face, that smile which is there, that works.
Yes, perfectly.
This works. Then yes, something like this. So you all, of course, these are stock images which have been shot majorly abroad, and the houses that you see, our houses are a little different from these. Irrespective of that, you would have these kind of windows, okay, that you can use, or walls or anything. So you can have something like this, you can have a pose like this, you can sit on a couch next to a window and you can shoot. You can sit on your couch, you can sit on the floor, you can sit on your bed, you can chop off your head if you're not feeling that great. I mean, at least this is what has to be captured, or you can take a full picture, like including the face as well. Now, this is one of my favorites. I anyways love to do, shoot pictures in the mirror. They come out very well. There is one little trick while you are shooting in the mirror, and that is, first of all, show the entire picture in the mirror. Don't chop them. You can chop the original one, like here it has been chopped, the shoulder, etc., that's been chopped, but at least the mirror image has to be totally clear. Second, you have to ensure that while you are clicking, you are not seen in the mirror as a photographer. So you have to adjust your angles that you get that capture, but you are not captured in the mirror. The third thing, whether you're using a DSLR or a smartphone, when you set your focus in DSLR, of course, you set your focus on whatever. You have to focus on the eyes, the mirror image, okay, not here, or of the mirror image, so that this mirror image is clear. When you're using your smartphone, again, as I said, you have to tap on the screen where you see the mirror image. You can also put some plants like it is here. You can add some rug, whatever you feel like. Then something like this. In case you have a duplex apartment kind of a thing, you can set your phone on a tripod, take a picture like this. This is not a very common pose. Even the mirror image is not a very, ask someone to shoot it for you if there is someone. Maybe your help can do it. Now is the time when you can teach your help also to hold the camera straight. That also comes very handy. I did my 100 sari packed, and my help clicked most out of 100. I think he clicked at least 85 pictures for me. So, okay, now this is the window thing that I was talking. Here she is sitting comfortably on a couch looking out of a window. As I said, involve your older ones. Okay, so this is the older one. Mother showing her tummy, and the kids are also, especially I've seen girls, they also want to touch their tummy and see whether that is growing or not, what is happening to their tummy, all of those. Okay, this is another very emotional, it also talks a lot. So this is a top shot where the mother and the older one are there on the bed. Whoever is clicking has taken a top shot. Now, if you see the entire bed, you can buy a few of these kind of bed sheets or bed covers which are kind of muted. If you see, everything is very, very muted. It does not really interfere too much with the main picture. Involve your pets again. Okay, so here if you see, the pet has this label Big Brother. This is another one with the pet. Do not forget to click some fun pictures. Irrespective of poses, irrespective of whatever, you will love them later. Yeah.
Very true.
So that's about it.
Thank you.
And silhouettes also, they may, so for silhouette, we have a whole topic, and we can share, talk about silhouettes.
Yeah, I was coming to that there's a new trend going on about silhouette. So what is it all about?
Okay. So talking about silhouettes, I would say that what is really important for creating silhouette? What is a silhouette basically?
Yeah.
Silhouette is basically the outline kind of pictures that are created. Okay, where you don't really see the person features or anything. It is only an outline shadow which you see. To create that silhouette, technically what we need is the light which is coming from behind has to be harsh enough, and it has to overpower the light which is coming from the front. I will take you through some of the pictures so that it is again, clearer. And I have silhouette pictures as well. I will just open them up and show you. So okay, so this is a silhouette. Now here, if you see, this lady is standing by the window, okay, and the light which is coming from the window. So you have to identify what part of the day do you get that harsh light at that particular window in your house. It may vary. So as the sun moves, it may happen that one part of your house gets a very bright light during the morning time, then the other part gets during the evening. So wherever you are shooting, if you get light around that near sunset, okay, choose that time. See, whenever you are getting that harsh light, so that kind of accentuates. For silhouettes, and especially for pregnancy, you have to choose a side pose. If you do not choose a side pose, you will not be able to appreciate the belly. Okay, and for side pose, for silhouette, side pose anyways works best because you get to see the features. If she's standing like this, from the back, all you see is a rounded head, which doesn't make sense. Something like this with your pet, something like this with your older child. Again, I'm not sure how feasible this is. Do not take risk because you might not be able, your child might be heavy. Don't lift them up. If you can shoot these kind of pictures with the couple. Doable, absolutely doable.
Very much.
So now if you see here, the ladies, the woman's hair is all around and you can't see the face, which is also fine. It's okay. It is those emotions. Emotion lies here, holding the hands together. Now, the other thing for silhouette is one, as I said, that you can take it by the side of a window. The other option is to shoot silhouettes at the time of sunset. Whenever you shoot any silhouette at the time of sunset, these are the kind of hues of sky that you capture. Blue going towards orange. This is a typical silhouette which you capture at sunset. For this, you can either go to your balcony or your terrace or your garden, or if you are at a beach or something like this. Okay, for Gurgaon walas, you can also go to some places like you have that biodiversity park at Dronacharya metro station. What you need to do is, if you look at this picture, the subject needs to be a little elevated from the ground, okay, so that there is no clutter behind. Now imagine if there was a building or there was a tree behind, you would not be able to see this outline. You see this outline only because there is a clear sky behind. So these small tweaks, these are certain hacks that you need to keep in view. This is very, very much doable with your smartphones. You do not need a DSLR camera. In fact, you don't need to focus also, you know, on the eyes or whatever, because what you get is the shadows. This is very much doable.
Wonderful. These are amazing pictures. And moms and dads, I think it just needs a little bit of planning and focusing, and then you can do all these pictures all by yourself. So,
Yes.
Rashmi, if you can share something about the birthing pictures, the pictures that one should click or capture in the hospital.
Sure. We haven't, Dr. Rekha, we haven't spoken about the props and the backdrops. So should we do that later after the birthing pictures?
Yes, I think
Yeah.
we
Great. Okay. So birthing pictures are, I don't have too many to give you ideas because they are very doable. It cannot be really curated that much. Okay. So whatever is happening, you should capture all of that candid. Do not worry too much about lighting. Do not worry too much about props. Birthing pictures usually don't have too many props, usually, okay? Because that, it is the spur of the moment. What is important is that emotion. Now, if you see, this is probably the first time that the mother has got the baby, okay? The baby is there with the mother. You see the smile. You see she's exhausted, but she's smiling. The father is there with the newborn and the mother. So the emotions is what you need to capture. You capture before the moment is gone. Okay, you have something like this which is taken. Don't worry too much about the drip being shown or the hospital bed showing off. Of course you can do a little bit of composition, all of that is fine, but capture that moment, that's important. You have something like this, it is getting a little pixelated, so something like this. Okay, now for birthing, again, when we talk about taking these kind of pictures in the hospital, what is also important is, of course, I gave you a list of all the things that you can carry, from makeup to your clothes to everything. You can take some of these pictures in your hospital of OT, you're there. Then once you're shifted into your room, you can take some pictures there. Most of the hospitals nowadays have these large windows and they look pretty nice. They have these nice good walls. You can do that. If you want to carry your tripod, nothing like it, you can carry your tripod. If you have a backdrop, once again we come back to the backdrop, I will explain you what are the things which you can carry in your backdrop. Okay, that's very much doable. You can just pack it in your suitcase and take it to create that backdrop for those just born kind of things with the mother. While you're leaving the hospital, you should take advantage of taking pictures in the hospital lobby or the corridors. A lot of hospitals these days send you a cake when you deliver. So use that cake. You can have some balloons along with that to just prop it up a little bit, and you can take pictures. One more thing is, I'm not sure how many of you would have thought about it, but I think you should take a picture with your gynac, your doctor. That will always, always remain as a beautiful memory for all of you. You know, so
yes.
you can, yeah, and take advantage of the corridor. When you take certain pictures in the corridor, it gives you a very beautiful depth and dimension.
Yes,
So
parents, I think please do click pictures in the hospital. The visitors are not allowed these days, the photographers are not allowed. And the photo shoot in the hospital was very common few months back, but now because of the restrictions, it's not being done. But you can be a photographer yourself, make use of all the backdrops available there, and do click special moments from there. So, Rashmi, let's hear about the backdrops.
props first.
Props, yes.
Okay, cool. So we go with the props. Okay, now some of the props are again very cliched, overly used, but it kind of works. So I'm going to take you through some of the props. First of all, is booties. Now, booties or shoes or whatever you would like to call them, that works. Some blocks. So if you've already decided, this is for people who have already decided the name, or maybe you can, have a neutral name, anything that you want to put. So something like this also really works very well. Ultrasound pictures are very common that you would have seen. Then we have some placards. I will just show you after the I am done with sharing the screen. I will unshare and I'll show. Okay. Okay. A mug like this, you can customize a mug. So one of the poses can be that the mother is probably looking out of the window or looking into the camera and sipping or some coffee or tea or milk or whatever, or maybe the mug is totally empty also. The idea is you hold the mug like this and you show your excitement. The mug has this message, there is a baby brewing, something on these lines. Okay, you can always get that printed. That looks great. You can have balloons. This works very well. When you are at home, you can have certain balloons. And now for balloons, see, this is another kind of balloon which says baby. This has been shot in the house corridor. It works. This again, the couple is sitting. This is the ultrasound picture. Okay, along with balloons, you can be sitting. Now, if you look at this, Dr. Rekha, what do you think is the backdrop? Nothing. This is a normal, and when you are using balloons, even if there is some clutter behind on the wall, that is taken care of. So loads of balloons. Okay, you can have your older one also short. Kids like balloons. You can have flowers. So these are all examples of balloons. Okay, you can have something witty on a slate like this one. Okay, so it says ready to pop. You can have something like this with chewing gum, bubble gum bubbling out. You can have this. And I have actually done, I did not include the actual shot of this. You can have, so what are these? These are basically just Post-its.
Yes.
Okay? And you can handwrite. Everything is handwritten over here. What does it take? It is very much doable. Whatever message you want to, okay, you can play with flower petals. You can have some artificial flowers, and you can also have, so I'll just stop the share so that I can show you, see, these are some artificial flowers that you can make use of. You can use some fresh flowers. You can have some rose petals and you can just blow them up. You can do that. You can have some, I'll just take you through. Baby on board. Of course, you will see a mirror image in the screen probably. This is a baby on board and this has been done, hand done by me.
Rashmi?
You can always...
Other way.
Yeah. Or you can take another one. So this is actually a Shadi ka card if you see. Okay. But because it was, strong enough to bear it, I made it on this one. And then I had another, this was a little pale yellow. This is proper yellow. So you can do something like this. You can order some of these online, which says, these are again the cliched ones. Mommy to be, this one says daddy to be, it can be, boy or girl. It's a boy. So this is what I usually use for my announcement pictures. Take one picture with this, it's a boy, another picture with this, it's a girl. Whatever happens, you can always use that. Right. These are your Post-its, okay, which you can use. So these are simple props that you can use. Then some props for the newborns. I've already shown you those pictures. Could be a pacifier, it could be a baby blanket, it could be baskets, it could be flowers, it could be a crown, it could be a tiara, books, glasses, stuffed toys, and the list goes on.
Rashmi, we have a question. Is it difficult to click when baby is awake?
Not really. See, when the baby is awake, just that the baby has to be in a good mood. Baby is smiling, not smiling, everything works. Just that you will not be able to position them the way you want them to. You cannot dictate, be a shoot director and dictate that they need to have their head like this. This you can only do while they're sleeping. Otherwise, keep clicking your candid shots while the baby is awake. You don't need to have all the sleeping shots only.
Yeah. And the next question is, should all of them have the same color?
No, you can really play with colors.
Right.
So like once we come to the backdrop, I think we are done with props. We are now left with backdrops, right? So
Yeah.
once we
So
discuss
moms,
about backdrops, as I said, that majority of the backdrops, we prefer them to be a little muted, but you can always break that. All the pictures you don't want on a very muted thing also, which is why I showed you those flowers and balloons and all of that, okay? So that brings about a very good variation in the kind of pictures that you have. So should we go to the props and how to have a decluttered kind of a backdrop?
backdrop is written. Props, I think we are done with the
Props
props.
we are done, yeah. So should we
Before
discuss
the, yeah.
backdrop?
Yes, please go ahead with the backdrops. But before we discuss moms, remember one small thing, that in the on the third, fourth day of after your baby is born, the babies lose their weight. So do not focus too much on clicking pictures when the baby is looking little dull and their baby has lost weight. Click
Yes,
pictures on the from the fifth or the sixth day onwards when the baby again starts gaining weight.
yes.
So the
You can
first week
always
baby
wait.
loses 10% of the weight. So the
Hmm,
first day is good, or the fifth day onwards, it's wonderful. But the
right.
third, fourth day, the baby is little on a weaker side.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can also wait. A lot of babies have this jaundice, slight jaundice. So you can wait for all of that to settle down. By in a week's time, probably you as a new mom would also be feeling much more stronger and fresher. So don't rush into it because you're not booking a session. So everything has a silver lining. Here, you're not booking a session or a slot with a professional photographer. So you can go at your own pace and do it accordingly. Two
Yes.
pictures in a day is also good.
Second week is a very good time to click all these pictures.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So
So when
Rashmi,
we talk about backdrops, first of all, you can identify some backdrops that work. Now, next to a window, if you see my backdrop, you can see it. So I basically have a wallpaper, which looks like a distress exposed brick, something like this. Or in case if you have a plain wall, okay, a normal plain wall, that works. Some out of the box things that work is, of course, you can't do it. So this, I'm not talking about the baby, I'm talking about the maternity shoot. Because baby, I already said that you can either shoot it from a top angle or whatever works best inside the house, either on the floor or on the bed or on the couch. Okay, these three things. For maternity, if you would like to venture out a little bit, if you have a store nearby where the shutter is down, the shutter of the store, because the way the light falls on it, it creates a beautiful backdrop. You wouldn't have probably thought of it, but it really creates a beautiful backdrop. That's one of my favorite go-tos, whenever I'm looking for a good backdrop. Then the headboard of your bed, if it is a high headboard, in case if it is quilted, it is not the reflective ones. What you need to take care of is it is not reflective. In case if it is the usual wood which reflects, okay, which shines, which is too glossy, you can always cover it with a muted kind of blanket or a bed cover. Okay. Now, if nothing works, suppose you have something behind and nothing works, I will show you how to create a sweep. It is called a sweep. You would have seen in studios, we photographers, we have the backdrops. Okay, so basically the backdrop goes like this and against a rod, and it rolls like this. Okay, it rolls like this, right? This is how a backdrop is. What you can do is, I'm using a small A4 sheet paper to demonstrate so that you can see the entire thing on my screen. You pin this part of the paper, or you can also use a bed sheet, a dupatta, depending upon how much area you want in the backdrop, or a bed cover, something like that, or a towel, probably. Okay, depends upon how much area you want, how big that towel is. So what you basically do is you pin this part to the wall, okay, so that this kind of flows. Now you see that it has already blocked everything which is there in the backdrop. You can also create bigger ones by using a sheet like this. So this is a handmade paper. Okay, you can see how big this sheet is. This is the usual, okay, chart paper kind of sheet that you get. If you want a bigger backdrop, you can combine say 6 to 8 of these kind of sheets. You can paste them from the edges so that it looks a little seamless. You get it at any stationery for 40 bucks. Okay. And even if you want, say, about 5 of them or 6 of them, it doesn't cost you much. That is one. The second one is, take something. This is a shawl. Okay. This is a white color shawl. This can work. White, beige, anything like this. You put this or a bed sheet or a bed cover on the wall. What you can do is you can either tape them or you can use these kind of pins. Okay, the usual board pins. And you can create your backdrop. Of course, you need to see whether you want to stand, so you want something which is covering until here, or if you're sitting, then you need a broader, depends upon whether you are shooting in landscape or the portrait mode, which means whether vertical or horizontal. So these are certain hacks that you can use to create backdrops.
And wonderful, Rashmi. But how can we assure that the picture is sharp and not blurred, or
Okay,
it comes out very sharp?
yes. So for the pic, okay, just a moment. I remembered that I have some more backdrops which I haven't shown. And so, although I have explained to you about how to create a sweep, now this, if you see, of course, this has been put with the help of a stand, but you would not have a stand. This so what you can do is, this is again a kind of sheet. You can put that against a window or a wall or something. You can put a chair, you can just put some plants. So this is your setup for your maternity, as well as if you want to take some pictures of the newborn with the parents. This works very, very well. Second, this one, this is what I meant by sweep. If you see this picture. Now this is what, this is a paper which has been chart paper kind of thing, which has been combined together, glued to the wall and to the floor so that it doesn't move. The child is sitting, the picture is being taken. It is a seamless backdrop. Whatever is there on the wall, whether it was painted, it wasn't painted, it was all chipping out, you don't need to worry about it at all. Then something like this, in case if you want to create a variation, you can add anything. Okay, here they've shown flowers, you could put some flowers, you can put something, streamers. So like you said, that do you need to take all pictures against a very muted kind of a backdrop? No, not necessary. Okay, here instead of these flowers, you could have balloons. Here you can have some pastel baby shade streamers to make that. You could also make use of the fairy lights that you see.
Yes.
Yeah. So all of that works very well with respect to backdrops. Now, coming to the sharpness of the picture. I would say that whenever you click any picture, not necessarily a maternity picture or a newborn, any picture when you shoot, there are 3 things which need to be taken into account, which are light, sharpness, and so light is called exposure, sharpness is called focus in technical terms, and the perspective, which in turn is called composition in technical terms. These 3 things have to be taken into account. When we talk about sharpness, you have to ensure that the person who you are clicking, the subject is sharp in focus. Okay. If you're using your DSLR camera, ensure that your focus ring is a little technical, but in case if you're using a DSLR, I have to tell you the technicalities. You have to ensure that in your viewfinder, you see the subject who is absolutely sharp. In case if you are seeing, taking picture with your phone, you have to tap on the phone to ensure that the focus goes there. The moment you tap on your phone, you would have noticed that you get a square. That square, by means of that, you're telling your smartphone camera that this is where you need to focus.
Right. Wonderful.
And those of you who have, so I can talk about iPhone because I have one, otherwise it happens on all the other phones as well. Go to the portrait mode. iPhone 8 onwards, you would see there is a F written in a circle, okay, on the top right corner of your iPhone. When you tap on that, it shows you a number line. and by default the F value is 4.5. You can either swipe left or right. When you swipe left, it gives you more shallow depth of field effect. When you go right, which means that the backdrop behind you will be more blurry. And when you go towards right, it makes everything sharper so that the backdrop, and if there are 3-4 people in the frame, everyone will be sharp. So those are some hacks in your phone. You need to understand that.
Wonderful, Rashmi. We had a great session. So your concluding tips and hacks for everyone to take home message.
Plan, prepare, be ready, practice, be patient, be observant, and click loads of it. Do not get disappointed. It doesn't happen in a day. And enjoy the process, most of all.
Yes, the most important is enjoy the process.
Yes.
And you can do it. So believe that you can do it, and you will have beautiful moments captured and for lifelong memories.
Absolutely.
So with this, we end today's session. Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you so much for an amazing session.
Thank you.
I'm sure all of you enjoyed the session as much as I did. And moms and dads, if you really want to be an expert in this, or you want to learn more from Rashmi, do join her digital photography sessions. She is very regular with her sessions, and I think Rashmi will add little more insight on the sessions that you are conducting for others. So Rashmi, can you tell us about that?
So guys, I am also a faculty at a lot of places. I teach digital photography to a lot of people. In the last 3 months itself, I think I would have mentored about 400 participants. I also hold my freelance workshops. The next one is happening on 11th and 12th of July. And the third session will be on 16th of July. The first one, we talk about the theory part, which is a lot of technicalities of your smartphone and DSLRs. The second is more about the creative aspect of photography, composition techniques. I share with people a lot of pictures that I would have taken myself, and using those techniques. The third session is basically a critique session. So everyone is given assignments so that they get into hands-on photography. And all of those assignments are critiqued in detail with me, by me. And of course, even after the sessions, you can feel free to connect with me, to show me your work. If you're stuck anywhere, you can ask me. So all of that can be done. Registrations are on. You can connect with me. Do I need to? I think my page was already tagged, right? So my page, my Facebook page is called Rendezvous with Rashmi. There is a space between each of the 3 words. My Instagram handle is Rendezvous with Rashmi. Again, there is no space. You can go on to them, share, like, and follow. Thank you so much, guys.
Wonderful, Rashmi. And moms, it is a wise decision to take these classes now itself and develop the skill of photography, because you have to capture every moment of your growing child, the every milestone of your baby. So it's a very wise decision to learn the skill now itself. So do look at her training sessions. And with this, I thank you all for attending my session. And thank you, Rashmi, for an amazing, amazing session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rekha, for having me over. It was a pleasure, an absolute pleasure for me.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your valuable inputs. And I would love to have similar sessions again. Thank you, all of you, and see you all same time next Sunday, same place, Facebook Live. See you all. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Stay safe, all of you.
Bye-bye. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.